So I do this in all my classes. And although I started from the beginning and I'm asking kindly each and every one of you, please learn this now so we don't have to ever talk about it again. Almost every week, this will pop up. Every class. This will pop up almost every class. And I'll ask you again, this is the last document at the end of the packet. I'll ask you again at the end of the semester, if you remember seeing this almost every class. However, in the past, and I'm hoping that this is not going to happen again, in the past, I would always have a question in the middle of the class, or, you know, we're working on a problem. One student raises his or her hand and says, where is that coming from? So I know this is not something we think in terms of day-to-day basis, right? This is not something that we, you know, go to bed and say, oh, how much is 2x plus 3y squared? Of course, this is not our main concern. But without this, we will always go back to basics, always, instead of making a headway. Will I always answer questions? Of course. I may ask somebody else in the room to answer it, to make sure that we're on the same page. But I will always answer your question. But I'm hoping that this is now, and we put it in our minds, or we understand it, we learn it, and we don't have to worry about it again. Okay, so this is like a first agreement, or an agreement on the first day if you want, and I want to put it behind us. So what is this? When we talk about a plus b, everything squared, what am I talking about? Today is the 23rd. Say it again. What is this expression when we say a plus b? What is it?
You have to multiply a plus b times a plus b.
Perfect. So it's a binomial.
Oh.
So first of all, it's two terms, right? First term plus a second term. First term plus a second term squared. Because the first term can be a, the second term can be b, but instead of a or b, it can be 2x plus 3y. So that's the first term. In this case, in the third situation, the first term is, can anyone read it?
2x.
Perfect. And the second term is? Good. So this is still a binomial. Two terms. First term, second term. First term, second term. So the first term is 2x, the second term is 3y. Good. So now I completely agree when you said a plus b squared is a plus b times a plus b. I completely agree with that. A plus b squared is a plus b times a plus b. I hope that this is the last time you and I FOIL this. I hope that this is the last time. Let's FOIL it now so we see what it comes up to be. But then from moving forward, I'm going to come back and we'll write the answer. Or can anyone tell us the answer without foiling it? No? Yes?
2a minus 2b.
No. That's why I don't trust Alex.
So I got an answer, but I foiled it in my head. Like I didn't draw lines, but I don't know if that's.
That's perfect.
Foiling it, so
That's perfect.
I got a squared plus 2ab plus b squared.
Correct. So what I would like you first of all to remember is that a binomial squared is a trinomial. This is the first thing that we have to commit to memory. Okay, for those of you who don't remember this, it's okay. A times A is A squared plus A times B is AB plus B times A is another AB plus B times B is B squared. Yes, two terms are like terms. That's why at the end we get 2AB plus B squared. However, if we continue to FOIL for the next 15 weeks, we are going to go back to square one every time. Instead of making steps forward, we're going to go backwards. That's my opinion. Second thing is, we are going to be able to, given this, to come up with this. So a plus b squared, I'm going to write a binomial squared is a trinomial. This is extremely important. That's the first step to remember. Why? It's because we have two terms here, 1, 2, but the answer has 1, 2, 3. So a binomial squared is a trinomial. So if you say a plus b squared equals a squared plus b squared, that is wrong, because this is two terms and this is also two terms. If you say a plus b squared equals 2a plus 2b is completely wrong. It's okay. This is what we have to establish from the beginning moving forward. That's why I was saying we need to meet to see where we are and see how much we have to study every day. So then coming back, here's our answer for the first one. Can anyone dictate now? So now you can, I'm not going to collect this, but you can put your initials next to it and say for yourselves, I promise myself to remember this. Because if I don't, it's kind of difficult to build algebra skills moving forward. So also a binomial is a trinomial, squared is a trinomial. Before I forget, not now, but in 2 weeks, I will start teaching another class, 137, that is a 13-week class. I think it starts February the 4th. It's right after your class. It starts at 7, from 7 till 8:30. It's a much smaller group for now. I don't know moving forward. If you would consider, if you think it's beneficial for you to see the same thing again, not just watch the videos, you're more than welcome. As long as there is room, you're more than welcome to sit in.
You said it's the same as that class, right?
Absolutely the same class,
February the 4th?
but it starts February the 4th. So you're more than welcome. Now, if the class will be full, I'll bring chairs in and you're going to just sit in, okay? So there is no problem. If that helps you in the long run, I'll be more than happy to. Okay, so then, can anyone dictate this one more time? Miles, put it away, please. That's why I need to know names from the very beginning. And I watch the people sitting in the back. No, I'm kidding. Yes. Yes. Good. So now, remember, this is wonderful, but it doesn't mean much because I'm not going to get A and B. So this is more important. Whatever the first term is, it will be squared plus twice the product of the first term times the second term and plus the second term squared. This is what I should remember, not A and B, because I'm not going to get A and B. I'm going to get 2x plus 3y. So now, based on what we have here, can you use the formula for this particular example? What is the first term that I need to square? Say it again. 2x. Please square it and tell me what to write.
2x squared.
Which is? Excellent. Do you agree with this? So the first term is this. I squared it and I got 4x squared. Now plus 2. What is the first term?
2x.
What is the second term?
3y.
So remember now, I don't want to write it if I can avoid it. 2 times 2x times 3y. 2 times 2 times 3 is 12xy plus? Excellent. This is what I want. You can say, well, would I have you deduct points on a test if I fall? No. It will take you forever. And you will have difficulties with factoring, however. That's the problem. No, I will not deduct points if you foil. You can foil anytime you want. However, going backwards in factoring is going to take a long time. So that's my target moving forward. Okay, can anyone give us the answer for the second formula? Special product.
A squared minus 2ab plus b squared.
Exactly. There is nothing else that is different, but the terms inside there were the two terms will be with minus AB, so that's minus 2AB. So let's look at an example now. Can anyone make up an example for us? So let's say 4a cubed minus 5b squared. Is this a binomial?
Yes,
Is it squared?
part of it.
Good. So how many terms do I have to write? That's what I wanted to avoid.
No,
3 terms. That's why we have this discussion. So the answer has to have 3 terms. It's a trinomial. First term minus the second term squared. I need 3 terms. Let's square the first term and please tell me what to write.
no, it's not cubed. You have to. When you square, do you add it? Okay, you do add it. Or
No.
multiply?
You will multiply. Is this okay? Please say no if this is not okay. So when we square 4a cubed, we have to square each factor. This is not a binomial. This is one term, one product. We copy the base and we multiply the exponents. Or 4a cubed times 4a cubed. Copy the base, add the exponents. Same thing. 16a to the 6th. The middle term is negative, so will be the middle term in the trinomial. Now remember the middle one is 2 times the first times the second. 2 times 4, 8 times 5. Very good. A cubed b squared. And plus, the last term is always positive, plus the second term squared. Can anyone square 5b squared and tell us what to write?
5b2.
We have to square each factor.
So 25.
Yes? Very good. This is the first step of building algebra skills. Again, can we continue foiling it? Yes. Should we? Please no, if you can avoid it. Any questions? Do we understand this?
Hold on, one question. How did you get the 40 again? You did.
2 times the first term times the second term. So that will be 2 times 4a cubed times 5b squared. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. A cubed b cubed. A cubed b squared. Is that better?
Okay.
Is it clear where the 40 is coming from? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. This is our first algebra skill. Being able to square a binomial and not have to foil it. Yes. Yes, please. Is that clear? Sure. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, last one for now. This. Can anyone give us the answer for a plus b times a minus b? Notice that these are 2 binomials. One has plus, one has minus, but they are identical otherwise.
A squared minus b squared.
That's it. That's the difference of squares. Awesome. Why? Because the 2 middle terms go away. One will be positive and one will be negative. Notice that this is not a binomial squared. I didn't lie to you. This is a product of 2 binomials that happens to equal a binomial. This is a binomial squared that is a trinomial. binomial squared that is a trinomial. Product of a binomial times another binomial, identical, just the signs are opposite, is this. Not to be confused with any of the other two. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples here. I'll create one and you'll give me another. So let's say 2a minus b and 2a, what will be the other one?
2a plus.
Exactly. They have to be identical, just have the opposite signs. So what is the answer? Yes, I can FOIL, but I don't want to.
4a squared minus b squared.
That's it. So this is what it's called, the difference of perfect squares. Difference of perfect squares. Okay, can anyone give us another example like this?
Did I say B and B? Yeah, okay. She right there. Okay. I can see.
You can come closer. Can you come closer? There is a seat here.
Yeah.
Please do. Can anyone else have, does anyone else have problems seeing? Okay, so right here. Okay, can anyone give us another example?
3x plus 2y, and then 3x minus.
Yeah, I'm going to put y cubed and 3x minus 2y cubed.
I know.
The only reason is because I wanted to review the exponential rules. Exactly, exactly. Not because I want to make it difficult. So, can anyone dictate?
9x squared
Yes.
minus 4y 9. 6.
We are not multiplying, right?
So if
So the two options are here like this. 2y cubed squared or 2y cubed times 2y cubed. 2 times 2 is 4, y cubed times y cubed.
we add when it's
Copy.
the same term going across, but if you're squaring.
That's
the
not, they're
exponent,
not the same term. They're
that's when you
factors.
multiply.
You copy the base and add the exponents. Copy the base, multiply the exponents. Okay, so what I would like you to do between now and Monday about this, create 2 more examples from each. And just show me what you did. So 2 examples of the first one, 2 examples of the second one, and 2 examples of the third one. Any examples you can come up with. You have to redo the problems we did together, practice them as quickly as possible, and then just create or copy from the book if you want. 2 other examples of type 1, 2 other examples of type 2, and 2 other examples of type 3. Is that okay?
Okay, could you,
Yes?
give me one more example of type 1?
Correct, yes. Very good. So please give me another. Anyone, can anyone make up a type 1? I can show you where they are because I'm going to do this next. Right here in the document that I created. Here it is. So these are going back. Yes, please. Yes, you want to do an example. Okay, I'm ready. 4x cubed plus, you said 2? 2b squared. Excellent. Everything squared. How many terms will you write?
3.
Exactly, because we are squaring a binomial. What do you think will happen if we take a binomial to the 5th power? How many terms will that have? When it has 2, a binomial squared is? Right. So if the power is 5, how many terms do you think we'll end up having?
6.
If the power is 10,
11.
so please remember 2 terms squared will give us 3. 2 terms cubed will give us 4, and so on and so forth. We're not going to study that in this class, but just remember. Good, so you will give me 3 terms. All of them will have positive because This is positive. The first and the last term are always positive, no matter what. So, can anyone give us those three terms?
16x to the 6.
So 2 times 4 times 2.
And then 16x cubed b squared. And then 4b to the 4th.
So yes, brute force foiling it is fine and secure, but this is so much better. One more time. It's because we are going to be able, we want to be able to go back and factor. This way, we basically expanded or distributed. We distributed or we expanded. But this is the key. This is what we want to be able to do. If we continue foiling it, going backwards is going to be very difficult. Okay? Do we need more examples from these three?
Can you do another example of the second?
Of the second one. The second one is identical.
Okay. Well, then just go to
Yeah, no, let's we can choose another one. I just want to point out that this is the only difference between 1 and 2.
yeah.
So you still want 2 or you want 3?
Well, now that I know that that's the only difference.
That's the only difference. It's minus here and it's minus here. Everything else is the same. The pattern is the same. That's why I asked at some point in time, you know, can anyone, we didn't foil this one. And I said, can anyone guess? And the only difference is this. So do we need an example from the third one? Okay, can anyone make up an example from the third one? Okay, 5x squared minus y to the third. What is the other one? If the formula is applicable.
5x squared plus y to the 3rd.
Binomials have to be identical. The only difference, one is positive and one is negative. So can anyone give us the form, the final form with no foiling?
25x to the 4th power minus y to the 6th.
Copy the base, multiply the exponents, or copy the base and add the exponents in this case when we multiply them. Are we comfortable with this? You may say, I understand it. I'm not going to be able to reproduce it till I practice it. Or you can say, I have no idea what you're doing. I've never seen this before. Which I hope is not the case. But you can still say it. Yes, of course. Like everything that you may have forgotten or you may have never seen it, right? Okay. I know I only have 2 more minutes. I want to show you this. This is the second thing that I wanted to do today. In 2 minutes, I'm not going to be able to accomplish much. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk about this document. So what I would like to do on Monday is go over this document. It's a lot. This is what I normally do for about 4 weeks with one of the algebra classes, prerequisites of this class. So it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to spend that much. So I'm going to spend about half of the class next time, in which I'm going to refresh your memory. And please go, and there is a document in my math lab. The class in my math lab is not created by me. As I mentioned, I'm not on this. It's right in the middle. It's called the factoring supplement. So I divide the factoring the polynomials in 3 different categories, and this is what I think is the correct way. In binomials, trinomials, and polynomials. Do you recognize from this part? I have to show you next time how I get here. But from this part, do you recognize anything that we just studied?
Yeah.
Yes, it's this one here that we just talked about several times today, right, with several examples. And you also saw these 2. right? We saw this, which comes from what? What is this, in other words? It's a minus b everything squared. That's what I want you to say. And that's going backwards. Go back to the handout, the first one that we looked at. This, where does it come from? Oh, from a minus b everything squared, correct? The a minus b everything squared is this. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Now, what is this?
That's,
Everything squared. But if I don't understand that formula, I would not be able to factor it. And this, where does that come from? It's a product of two binomials. No, it's a product of two binomials. Right? It's a difference of squares. That's what you meant? I'm sorry, forgive me. My apology. I just, sorry. I didn't hear the whole thing you said. So that's what it is. This is this formula. And this is this formula. And where we had examples. Oh, we didn't have any example with the first one?
We didn't have those in third.
Yeah, right here. This is this one. So that's why understanding what's happening here, it will be much easier for us to factor. So that's why I'm emphasizing, sorry,